Do we have amplification for tonight?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Radha Krishna bol, bol, bolo re shobha.
Radha Krishna bol bol bolo re shobha.
Shikha diya, shobha diya, preche neche gaur nitai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivradika Charja Stothar Shishimad Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavini ki Jai. Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prems Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gokupina Sham Kund Radhakund Giri Govardhan ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Mayapur Navdeep Dham ki Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki Jamuna Devi, Ganga Devi ki, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki, all glorious is some of the devotees, all glorious is some of the devotees, all glorious is some of the devotees. Gaur Premanande Haribol. Yeah, sure. Chakshurun Vidagandina Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhisham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamanyam Dadati Swakarantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Radhanavitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha strategic location, situated perched on the east coast of the United States of America. Krishna has all sent you here for a very specific reason, to expand the Sankirtan movement, if you like. It's your choice. And you can take it up as much as you like, and as much as you do like, Krishna will fulfill your desire to expand the Sankirtan movement by giving you all facility. He is Vishwambar, the nourisher of the devotee's bhakti and the maintainer of the universe. It comes from the root word dubrin, which means the person who maintains everything, everywhere and everything. And the Sankirtan movement takes place under the control of the internal energy of the Lord. Those who desire to be a part of this movement and pray on their knees that please empower me to spread the Sankirtan movement will find themselves in advantageous positions to perform devotional service in an unlimited fashion. It's open to everyone. It's not that some people can do this and other people can't. It's completely up to one's desire. If you desire to take a bath during the month of Magh in the confluence of the Ganges and Jamuna during the freezing cold weather, who can stop you? Anybody? If you decide you want to go take a shnan at that time, in the month of Magh, in the freezing cold, when it's foggy out, can anybody stop you from doing that? No. You'll go and take your bath. So anyone who wants to participate in devotional service to whatever degree cannot be stopped. It's a product of the internal energy. I was just in UK for 2 weeks, and there one day we went out with a group of devotees, about 35 devotees, on a monthly Sankirtan festival. And one of the devotees I had the honor of going out with on Sankirtan was a first-timer, first time out on book distribution. One particular situation, though, he was deaf and dumb. Deaf and dumb. So enthusiastic to go out and distribute books. He sold 15 books his first day on the street, and it was a tough street too. Hare Krishna. Hare Bo. Advaita Acharya. You know all these? Vrindavan. Anyway, he brought his interpreter with him, and I could just see it was based on his desire that he wanted to do this so much that people saw it in his eyes, and they were taking books, and he was telling them things through his interpreter. He would sign, and the interpreter would tell the person, and they would take the book. So it's based on desire. Ye yata mam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamyaham. Everyone follows Krishna in all respects, and if you surrender to him, he rewards you accordingly. So the only exciting thing going on in this world, really, is surrender to Krishna. Everything else is boring and is a waste of time. Boring and a waste of time. But if you decide, I'm going to surrender to Krishna, and the best way to do that in this Kali Yuga age is to get into this Sankirtan movement. Get into it, you know, as fully as possible. Both feet, all your head, everything. Put it all in. And once you do that, then Lord Chaitanya supplies everything you need. And Prabhupada said this is how you make advancement in devotional service. It's corporate. It's a very corporate situation. Just like in corporation, if you please your superior and you're doing excellent work, work passes up and they say, move this person up. They move you up. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was watching for those people who are ready to move in and start organizing, doing something to spread the Sankirtan movement, because that's what he wants. He said, I'm a gardener. He became the tree, and he also became the gardener, and he was also eating and distributing the fruits, and he said, how many can I do by myself? I need help. I order every person in this universe to help me do this. That's an open order for everyone. Abharagnai Guru Hanatara Edesh said, by my order, become a guru, and spread this as far and wide as possible to everyone in the universe. That's our job. That's what we have to do, and if you do that, you'll attain love for Radha and Krishna and Vrindavan. It'll awaken naturally within your heart by doing this dasya ras, this menial service to Radha and Krishna, and anybody can do this. You all have talents and skills that you've learned from living your life so far. You know how to organize households. You know how to raise children. That means you know how to nurture. You know how to organize. You've learned so many things about engineering and mathematics. All these things require intelligence. You apply that same intelligence in a cooperative way to how to spread the Sankirtan movement, how to inundate the world with literature about Krishna consciousness, and Harinam Sankirtan, and how to teach people and nurture them and bring them along in Krishna consciousness. And you'll be fully blessed by Lord Chaitanya in this Iron Age of Kali Yuga. Here's a recent festival that just concluded, as you can see, a few days ago. And I'm just going to give you a sample of what some of the devotees who were working together on the west coast of America came up with. This is a... is the text going to be blocked out? Let's see. Somehow it's scrunching up against the screen. 500 years ago, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught this chanting of Hare Krishna, and he said, teach it to others. That's how simple the Sankirtan movement is. Chant Hare Krishna, teach others to chant Hare Krishna. That's the goal. Do you know why it's going off the screen? Is there a way to adjust it? So Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda opened a marketplace to market the holy name all over the world. And in 1891, Bhaktivinoda Thakur reopened that marketplace called the Namhata. And he started 500 stations through which the people were learning, just like here, this is a Namhata. People were learning all about Krishna consciousness and going out to broadcast it to others. He said, at Surabhi Kunj, the marketplace of the holy name has been opened. And all these other great acharyas kept this vibration, the pure vibration of the holy name going, and followed the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur widened that marketplace. Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave the idea of the marketplace. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he spread it all over India. He gave it form. This idea that Bhaktivinoda Thakur had, that the teachings of Lord Chaitanya would save the world, and that it should go everywhere, to the east, to the west, everywhere. See, people weren't thinking like that in India at the time. They were thinking, don't go outside of India. Hindus shouldn't leave the shore of India. It says you'll become contaminated, it'll be lost, it'll be diminished. Nobody but Brahmins can have this, etc., etc., all these kinds of things. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur read the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Before he did that, he read all the world religions. He read Bible, Quran, all the writings of great philosophers of the East and the West. And then he discovered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings and found the synthesis of everything perfectly. And the revelation that the Bhagavatam is the highest literature, Ram Yat Kapchirupasana Prajavidu Vargena Valkalpita, this unmotivated devotional service of the residents of Rajabhumi that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching and spreading all over the world. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur took this vision of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and he gave it form and shape so that it spread through the Gaudiya Math, with very successful organizations spread all throughout India. It was institutionalized, this Gaudiya Vaishnavism, so that it could practically take form, so people could be trained as preachers and go out to give it to other people. And they did so forcefully, and they used the Yukta Vairagya principle. They used cars, they used buildings, things that normally Gaudiya Vaishnavas did not do. And the great genius, spiritual genius, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, wanted it to go beyond the shores of India, but at first it was not successful. Some of his disciples went to England. They stayed for a couple of years, but it was very tough. You know, there were racial considerations. They were coming from India, and at the time they were in England. It was hard for them to rent a flat. People were giving them this, you know, this pulling the race card and all these kinds of things. Very difficult. So in 2 years they came back. Also, there was a sortie that went out to Burma. And so, but Srila Bhaktisiddhanta wanted this to spread all over the world, and it did. Through His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, somehow or other, by Krishna's divine arrangement, he caught the Jaladuta, and he brought with him nothing but his books, a few personal effects and books. And this was his idea to spread it all over the world. He spread that marketplace single-handedly at first, and then with the help of his disciples, to every continent of the world. And then he asked us, kindly help me. So there's the request, kindly help me. It's ongoing. The framework is there, but there's huge work to be done all over the world. There are millions and millions of people being born into the world. They have no idea about the Krishna consciousness movement. and we need to reach them. So he gave us this service to do. And if you do the service, Shushusho Sharadhanasya Vasudeva Katarichi, Syan Mahatseveya Viprapunya Tirtana Shevana. By serving the great souls, you're doing the highest thing that you can do. And by doing that, you'll gain ruchi, affinity for hearing about Krishna, for hearing and chanting. You'll rise to the high level of devotional service. You will not stay in a Kanishta Adhikari platform. You will move to the Madhyam and the Uttama platform by serving the great souls like Srila Prabhupada. This is why we're doing Sankirtan. It's for our own self-purification. It may seem implausible, it may seem difficult, whatever it is, we don't care. We're going to serve the great acharyas, acharya upasana. And when we do that, we advance in devotional service. Very specifically, Prabhupada asked us, print as many books in as many languages and distribute throughout the whole world. These books are the most precious thing. They used to be written on palm leaves by hand, and now we have them available through high-speed electronic digital printing. Don't think that they're ordinary because we can print mass numbers of books and we can put them in our car just because they're not on palm leaves. These are deities. This is where the eternal comes down and meets the temporal on paper and ink. It is written kirtan. It's coming from the spiritual world, and each one of these books can cause a revolution. Just 5 books smuggled into Russia in the engine of a car began the revolution that we see now in Russia. The walls came down, and now tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are chanting Hare Krishna in the streets of Moscow because of this sound vibration. The literature, the books, that's what starts revolutions. That's what caused the American Revolution. It was a pamphlet which was distributed to half the world, half the America's population at the time. They read it and they rose up in revolution. Same in Cuba, same all over the world, even in India. The communists took their literature to Kerala, they took it to Bengal, and the people turned communist because of it. It affects people when they read the literature. It's a strategy, and that was Srila Prabhupada's strategy to distribute these books all over the world. Here's an example of how we just used organization and skills to develop a program. Just as I say, just finished, but it's just starting. Join, distribute at least one book, build a team, and report your score. And we did this latest monthly Sankirtan Festival through networking, all kinds of networking. Invite your friends, family, associates, and pets. Pets can join this too. We have pets. Anybody have pets? They can come. We had different levels: merchant, team builder, master team builder. Merchant means you would register on the website, seventhgoswami.com, and distribute at least one book and report your score. That makes you a merchant in the marketplace of the holy name. Then, when you get 3 more people who become merchants, then you become a team builder, and when your 3 merchants become team builders, you become a master team builder. Yes. There's the summary of the team building, and there's what it looks as a schematic, and it's the power of 3. 3 times 3 times 3. Everyone just doing a little bit. Each person finding 3. 3 times 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 3 is what? 29,000 plus. It's an amazing power of multiplication. Anyone can participate. All over the world, devotees got enlivened by hearing about this opportunity to join the Sankirtan movement, distribute at least one book, report your score. Here's a woman on an airplane who happened to sit next to Mayapur Bihari, who was on his way to San Diego. Gave her a book pack, you see right here, and she's reading it. She read it all the way to San Diego. Kids love going on Sankirtan. We had, just during this last monthly Sankirtan festival, the total number of kids was 238. 238 kids went out for book distribution, door to door. They all got counted, you see. They're in ecstasy. They love it. And the people love them, and I promised you pets. Here they are. This is Flicker on the right, and this is Yogi on the left. Yogi's a little shy of the camera, but these dogs do their job. They go out door to door, they go into the parks, and they get their friends involved. And people come over and they want to know, what's Flickr got there? What's in it? And then they end up buying books. And yes, they are counted as part of the Sankirtan party. Lord Ramachandra had monkeys. We have dogs. Anything's possible in the Sankirtan movement. Here's what it looks like when people go to join. You go on the website. It's got a beautiful interface. And you can hit the register button, which is still open. The marketplace is still open. We just finished one phase of it. We're moving into the next. Once you do the register, which is pick a login name, a password, confirm your password, put in your full name and address, then you go out and distribute at least one book to anyone, anywhere, any way that you'd like to do it. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sent books out of India. Yeah. He's mailed them to McGill University, to Thoreau, Emerson, so you can do that too. Pick the Prime Minister if you like, whoever you like. There's nobody who can stop you to distribute books in whatever way you like. And then build your team. Once you register, you'll get your own unique dashboard, you see, and a unique URL down here. And from there, you can write an invitation and send them out to your friends, families, associates, and they will get an opportunity to also sign up. So a few people, invite a few people, invite a few people. We have a world revolution going on. Here's, you report your book score. It's easy. You just scroll down. It's got all the books listed, so you can choose the quantity that you've done. And then you'll see across the top that it keeps a running total of what you've done and what your team has done. Then you can also report your scores. What's that question?
So each person can monitor their being in progress?
Yeah. That's right. You have a whole list of all your team members and everything.
Do you get a separate website, or it's all everyone's on the same website?
Separate website, but no, same website, but you get a unique URL.
Oh, okay.
So you can cut and paste that, or you can send it out right from here, or you can it interfaces with Facebook also. You can send it directly over to that.
So every single person gets their own URL?
Yeah. And so all the people in your network that you signed up, they have a unique URL, and you're building your team while they're building their team, and it's all part of your team. And it's all part of the big team. And we're all one big team. Is that all right? It's fun for the whole family. Collect them, trade them with your friends. Okay, so then you report your score. Let people know the good news, what happened. And then it goes onto the blog on the website, you see? And then here's the step summary. It tells you exactly what you do. Now, fortunately, we can tell you some results from this. From May 27th just to June 30th, we had a countdown timer on the website, and we were inviting people all over the world to join. Our goal was to have 1,008 people participate to go out on book distribution. I'm happy to tell you that we had 1,818 people participate. I'm also happy to tell you that they did more than just one book each, so we ended up distributing 64,480 books within a few weeks. And just at ISV, the devotees organize themselves, a group just like this, and they all go out door to door. The kids go out, everyone goes out, usually once a month. For this marathon, they went out a little bit more than that, but just in their own group, they managed to distribute 12,000 books and collect $23,000. A lot of people each doing just a little bit. And that's just kind of a sample of what you can do. And I do encourage everyone to go and register on the website, because the next phase will begin soon, and you can be part of the team, and you'll get news updates about how you can participate and how you can invite more people. We'd like to get the numbers up into the tens of thousands, 50,000, 100,000, a million people on the register on the website. And then imagine our next program called BAM, B-A-M, exclamation point, Book a Month. When we have 100,000, a million people in the network, and everyone just does one book in a month, we can move through this pipeline of a lot of people each doing a little bit, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of books every month, through everyone distributing one book and recruiting a new member. All right? Would you all sign up?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you know where to go?
Yeah. 7thGoswami.com.
7thGoswami.com. Here. That deserves, because just happen to have for you. Here's your 7thGoswami.com.
Oh.
look on Mayapur TV, like the other day in Moscow, we looked and you could see the temple room full of devotees, and they all have these yellow armbands on. Everyone wants to know, what is it? It's the 7thGoswami.com. It's all over the world now. We had 50 countries that participated in this last event. Okay, so if you need help, we have a tech team waiting to serve you, and now there's live tech help that you can come onto the website, and they answer any of your questions and help you with any of your book distribution needs too, to give you information, PDFs, videos, things like that, so you can develop your own scores and team here. Admin at 7thGoswami.com. Now, let's look at the Sankirtan certification course. There's the tech team, by the way, standing by to serve you. 24 hours a day they're open. All of these they're sitting by the phone waiting for your calls right now. Okay, so we have a legacy, and we talked a little bit about this legacy. Did you know that the word parampara means to bequeath? A bequeathment. Something that's passed down to you as a gift. So we're getting this gift from above. It's being passed down to us, and such a great gift it is. It's natural that someone would want to pass it on. When you get something of an inestimable value, first thing you want to do is go tell people about it. Give it to other people. You're overflowing with happiness. And as you do that, Krishna says, there's no servant in this world more dear to me than the person who goes out and gives this to others. Lord Shiva said the same thing in the Srimad Bhagavatam. When the ocean of milk was overflowing, when it first started to produce, it produced poison. The Kalakut poison came out, and it was threatening the whole universe. So all the devotees, all the demigods, they went to Lord Shiva and said, please help us, please save us. And Lord Shiva did save the universe. He drank that poison, and his throat turned blue. And in the process, he said, Tapyante lokatapena, sarava prayasojana, parama aradanam tadi purushasya latmana. He said, the highest method of worshiping Krishna, who is within everyone's heart, is to take voluntary suffering on oneself for the sake of helping those who are suffering. And the highest way of doing that is by giving them the Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna says it, there's no servant in this world more dear to me. So this is a very quick way to become dear to Krishna, is to pass this on to others. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, here he is dancing down the streets of Miami, Florida. And this is what's happening actually. Every town and village, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming. His mission was to spread it to everyone. Bhaktivinoda Thakur predicted that a great personality would appear to spread this all over the world. And this has come to pass. This is happening by the internal energy. Srila Prabhupada's guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, gave him this instruction which Srila Prabhupada often repeated, and that is, if you ever get money, print books. Everyone please say. If you ever get money, print the books. The books are the big thing. You know, their mission, buildings, all these kinds of things are okay, but there's lots of buildings sitting all over the place. There's churches up and down the street here that are just empty, or people come once a week. Big deal. And how much does it cost to heat those places in the wintertime? There's a lot of energy goes into that. But one book, 5 books went into Russia, and look at the revolution that happened. One book that goes into someone's house that change a heart. Tadvag visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratishlokam abadyavatyapi. It means it's from a different creation, and these books create a revolution in the heart. That's big news. When one person turns towards Krishna and says, I'm going to surrender, that's big news in the universe. Everything else is boring and useless. So we're interested in distributing these books, which actually are written kirtan from the spiritual world. And that's what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was interested in. That's what Srila Prabhupada was also interested in also. Here's his first pamphlet that Prabhupada produced to promote his books. Now, how many books did he have at this time? He had 3. How many are advertised on this? 60. 60 volumes of elaborate English version by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. He had 3 books at the time. He's advertising 60. And at the bottom you see, all over the world for scientific knowledge of the God. All over the world, he didn't have a place to stay. He had no money and no place to stay, and he's advertising all over the world. This is the mood of the Sankirtan movement. If a movement means somebody's got to move, and that means you got to move. You don't wait for somebody else to move. You don't say, well, why doesn't the GBC do it? Why doesn't the Temple President do it? Why doesn't Manish Puri do it? Why doesn't Nitin do it? You move. You do it. You catch your Jaladuta. Why not you? Anyone can do this. And this is how Srila Prabhupada thought. That's why he stood out from everybody else. He decided, he made this resolution, I'm going to do or die. And you'll find in the manual for warfighting, the Marine Corps, the great general wrote this book about warfighting. He says, big armies don't win. Big armies lose all the time to smaller armies. Why? Because what army wins depends on the heart of the leader. When the leader gives up, the whole army fails. That's it, in a nutshell. It's not bigger firepower, it's not how many bombs you have, it's the heart of the leader. And if in your heart you've decided, I'm surrendering, I'm doing this, nobody can stop you. And you can do miraculous things. And it doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter what situation in life you're in. You can change the world. And you don't have to be the same as you were when you walked in. You can walk out completely different. It's entirely up to you. And that's why it's exciting to be a human being, because you can make that decision and change everything. And you see this one pamphlet printed in black and white. This shows Prabhupada's determination, and that's why it was successful. And you can be successful too. Just make the determination to take this Sankirtan movement in a do or die mood. By printing books, we can actually inject our movement into the masses of people all over the world. Please try for this book distribution. He requested over and over again. He wanted to be released from management so that he could print more books. We were just reading about this yesterday. First and foremost, this is the rapid way for everyone to make advancement in devotional service. When you try for this, go outside your comfort zone. When you become more comfortable being outside your comfort zone, then you know you're making advancement in spiritual life. When you become uncomfortable being in your comfort zone, then you know you're making advancement in spiritual life. And Prabhupada said it, you'll get superior strength and knowledge in Krishna consciousness just by trying for this. Just try. You don't have to be successful, you don't have to show any results, you just have to try. And you yourself will get superior strength and knowledge in Krishna consciousness. How is everybody so far? On a scale of 1 to 10. 1 means you're ready to leave now, and 10 means you're in ecstasy.
9. 9.
Okay, you're all okay? Okay, we'll take a pretty deep breath, and I'll take a deep breath too. And I'll have some water. Okay, we can do this. Simply by this attempt. Now here's our mood in book distribution. We are Krishna's instruments. We're the instruments. So, okay, we are Krishna's instrument. You don't have to be bright, you don't have to be clever, you just have to be an instrument. Just go out and do what Krishna asks you to do. Go out and whatever your leader asks you to do, you go out and do it and try for it, and you'll see you'll be successful. Remain humble and hungry. Hungry for spiritual knowledge, for making advancement in spiritual life, and always humble. When you keep your head down, amanitvam, adambitvam, that means humility, pridelessness. These are the prerequisites for advancing in spiritual life. Go out for your own purification. It's not to save the world. It's not to impress upon others. It's not for a book score. It's for you. When you go out the door, you get self-purification. You become more advanced. You'll feel better about yourself. Do service for service sake. No other reason. Service for service. And save one soul at a time, beginning with yourself. You don't need to save anybody else but yourself. And look at, this is a brahmachari. We were at the Montreal Rath Yatra a few years ago. And we saw this young man up in his apartment. He was appreciating watching the kirtan and the Harinam party and the Jagannath cart going by. And so Damodar, in his enthusiasm, that's a second-story window. He climbed up on top of this air conditioning duct. You see his toes are on it. And he distributed a book through the second-story window. I'm not recommending this. But I'm showing you an example of enthusiasm, utsahan. That's what gets it done when you're hungry and humble. Cell phones? Okay. One way that we distribute a lot of books at our temple in San Jose and at other temples that I visit is we make a rule. Well, first of all, I ask everyone to leave their cell phones on and take them off vibrate and put them on full volume. Because we say that every time your cell phone goes off in the class, then you get one Sri Upanishad, and it costs $5. So we ask everyone, please leave your cell phone on, take it off vibrate and put it on full volume, and then don't tell anybody when they come in late to the class that that's the policy. We did that when I was in Coventry and somebody walked in, sat down their cell phone, and I went, everyone, what did I do? Here's your Upanishad, £5, please. There's many ways to distribute books, you just have to think of them. Our prime directive is to leave everyone with a good impression. Please repeat. Our prime directive is?
Leave everyone with a good impression.
Our prime directive is?
Leave everyone with a good impression.
Our prime directive is?
Leave everyone with a good impression.
Our prime directive is?
Leave everyone with a good impression.
Our prime directive is?
Leave everyone with a good impression.
If someone wakes you up at 1:30 in the morning tonight, they wake you up to say, what is our prime directive? You'll say?
Leave everyone with a good impression.
You walk down the street, go outside here, someone grabs you and says, what was the meeting about in the room there? What are you going to say?
Leave everyone with a good impression.
That's correct. We leave everyone with a good impression. We're not going out to distribute books. We're not going out to save the world. We're going out to leave everyone with a good impression. And if you do this wherever you go, starting with your family, take time with your family, with your kids, with your husband, with your wife, with your pets, to leave them with a good impression. And you'll find out that this is the way to live. This is Sankirtan. Sankirtan means in all times, in all places, in all circumstances, to leave everyone a good impression. The only way you can do that is by seeing people as spirit souls and treating them like spirit souls. And when you do that, then you live a certain kind of lifestyle. And that's what we do when we're in, and that's what we do when we go out. And that is Sankirtan, and that is to leave everyone with a good impression. Some ways to do that. Treat everyone with respect. Everyone should be respected. We don't know who we're talking to, what their level of is. But besides, we don't care. They're all spirit souls. One who sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord and sees the Supreme Lord within everything never hates anything or any being. One who sees all living entities as spiritual sparks and quality one with the Lord becomes a true knower of things. What then can be illusion or anxiety for him? When one sees that all people are meant to be respected because God's in their heart and because they're spirit souls, they have no more anxiety or trouble in life. Offer kind words. People crave kindness and kind words coming from people. If you just try this for the rest of the day, everyone you meet, offering them a kind word, you'll find that the environment that you live in will drastically change. Don't focus on your personal scores or results. Don't worry about that. Just leave everyone with a good impression. And develop the habit of expressing sincere gratitude and thanks to the people you meet, live with, and associate. Let's try it right now. Anybody here want to express gratitude to any one of the other devotees for their service in this community? Yes.
I'd like to thank Nitin for inviting both of you.
Let's give him a hand. That was sincere gratitude. Somebody else. Pick out somebody
I
else.
would like to thank Srinivas Acharya Das for introducing us to Krishna consciousness.
Hari One more. Yes.
I would like to express my gratitude to Yoga and Vaishnava for bringing me here today.
Jai. Let's have another hand. You had your hand up? Yes, go ahead.
I would like to thank Shalini Mataji for giving me the opportunity to serve the Vaishnavas of India.
Hare So that's Sankirtan. It means expressing sincere gratitude and thanks to the people you meet, live with, and associate with. And if you do that when you're in, and you do that when you're out, that's the mood of Sankirtan. And that's what people are looking for in the world. They're all feeling the burden of impersonalism everywhere they go. And everyone has a profit motive. If you go out without a profit motive, you're just going to give sincere respect, thanks, and appreciation. You'll find that people will respond in magnificent ways. Preaching means giving. We don't need money. We don't need all these things. Those are all just collateral effects. We're going out to give people the most valuable thing. Don't condescend. Other people have, perfectly good ideas and intelligence and all kinds of things. Don't think that, we have to dominate every single person. Express empathy. When people are suffering, express your empathy and feel for them in your heart. That's the best kind of yogi, Krishna says in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Practice reflective listening. I'll give you an example of reflective listening, and that is, Nirkula, how was your day today so far?
Unbelievable.
What did you do today?
What did I do today?
Yeah.
I chanted my rounds. I read a chapter of Bhagavad Gita. I had a nice association. Had wonderful lunch prasadam and breakfast prasadam, and now I'm in the association of great Vaishnavas.
So if I understand you correctly, you got up this morning, you chanted your rounds, you chanted one chapter of Bhagavad Gita, you came here, you found a nice association, and you also had a really nice lunch prasadam. So this is the idea, like listening to what people are saying and reflecting back to them what they just said. We use this technique by saying, if I understand you correctly, most people when they're talking, they're always waiting just to put in their 2 cents. They're not really listening. But if you practice this when you listen to your spouse, when you talk to somebody else, then you listen carefully and you repeat back. You say, if I understand you correctly, you're a multi-billionaire. You just moved into the town. You're interested in spreading the Bhagavad Gita to people everywhere in this town, and you'd like to give a large donation. Did I understand you correctly? So listen to people. This is one of the most life-changing things you can do, is actually just listen to people and then reflect back to them what they're saying. Make people feel special, because they are. Everyone's special. Krishna says it in the Bhagavad Gita, that the soul is the most amazing thing. Now, I want you to imagine right now that everyone in this room has a sign around their neck and it says, make me feel special. Close your eyes and imagine that everyone in this room has a sign around their neck and it says, make me feel special. Now imagine everyone in the city has one. Everywhere you go, people have this sign around their neck. Now when you open your eyes, I want you to turn to the person next to you and do something to make them feel special. Ready? Go! Turn to somebody, make them feel special.
You want water?
Don't miss this opportunity. Turn to somebody, make them feel special. Do something, say something. Whatever you can. Could you feel the energy in the room? It's a nice energy, right? If you make this your job, just imagine, remember that everyone has a sign on their neck that says, make me feel special. Every person that you meet, make them feel special. Kids like it, adults like it, animals like it. If you go up to an animal and you say, you're really special. The wet tail stuff. Everyone likes it because everyone wants some love. They just want a little love. They want to feel special. They don't need money. They don't need a bigger house. They want to feel special, and they want to be treated like that. So that's what Sankirtan is. It means to take this feeling of the spiritual world. You be an ambassador of goodwill, and that's the way to live life. If you live life as an ambassador of goodwill, everywhere you go, you make people feel special because you see they're spiritual. They're part of Krishna, and they are special. And when you do that, then your whole life is swimming in the spiritual energy. And that's where you want to swim. We are in the service business. That's what we're offering, service. We have the best kind of service to offer people. So we're always thinking in this way, how to do better service. And this is one of our mottos. It's called Always Better Service. It's the ABS principle. And the way this works is really simple. Every time you do something, like you perform some service, you produce an event, get a piece of paper, take a legal pad of paper and a pen and sit down and make a line down the middle and then say what things worked well and where is there room for improvement. On one side put what things worked really well, and the other side write where there's room for improvement. This one technique, if you do this with your group, every time you produce an event, sit down together and say what worked well, where there's room for improvement. Take those places where there's room for improvement and make action plan, how to make improvement for the next time. Incremental, tiny little improvements every time will encourage everyone. They'll see you're making progress and they'll want to be part of the team. And you augment the things that are working well and emphasize them and pass them on to everybody else. Look at Krishna, he's washing the feet of Sudama Brahman. Are you ready for the 4 laws of book distribution?
Yes.
You all ready?
Yes.
I'm not convinced.
Yes!
Okay, now I'm convinced. There are 4 laws of book distribution. Don't break the law, stay out of jail. Here they are. Lakshman, can you read these out loud, please?
Your sadhana must be strong. You must get books. The more you show, the more you sell. You must organize.
You must. Sadhana, strict, serious, and sincere. Make your sadhana strict, serious, and sincere. And when you do, you'll get a taste. Every day you should get a taste. Don't think in the future I'll get a taste, when I'm 50 I'll get a taste, someday I'll get a taste. You beg every day. You have to get a taste. Otherwise, you'll be attracted to the material energy. And many have. Prabhupada writes in his purport in the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam that many stalwarts have fallen away from devotional service. We've seen many stalwarts have fallen away. Stalwarts. You have a dictionary? Who has a dictionary? You have an iPhone?
You can look at my iPhone.
Everyone has a dictionary. Stalwart. Prabhupada says many stalwarts have fallen away from the devotional practice. You must not fall away from the devotional practice. You must become transcendental. Mamcha yogya vicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. You have to rise to the Brahman platform. And that requires that you must not fall down. You must rise up by performing devotional service. It's like an airplane taking off. It goes faster, faster, faster. It gradually takes off and it goes above the ground. So we can rise above the 3 modes of material nature, come to the level of Brahman by performing strict, serious, and sincere devotional service. We must get a taste for this. And at least every day get a sesame seed worth of taste. Ask for it. When you chant your japa, don't just chant mechanically, but ask, please Krishna, I have to have something. I'm lowly, I'm insignificant, I don't have any qualities, I don't deserve this, but I'm begging you, I'm asking special mercy today. Please give me at least 1 sesame seed worth of inspiration from chanting my japa. And then listen very carefully to the holy name and perform your devotional service like that, like it's life or death, that every day I have to get something. So if you do that, you will get a taste. And what we are distributing in Sankirtan, the Sankirtan movement is distributing the overflow of that taste. From the taste that you get in your strict, serious, and sincere devotional service, you will distribute the overflow. And when people see you, they look in your eyes, they'll know that you're inspired. They'll know that you're happy. They'll know that you're in bliss, and they'll want what you have. That's what people want. They don't care about all the other products so much. They don't care what you're selling. They want to see you. And you can only get it one place, and that's from Krishna. Now, I studied a little science in school, but not a lot. I don't know all the laws of thermodynamics, but I know that one of them should be that you can't distribute books that you don't have. You have to get books. These books are so important and so valuable. Isn't it true, Nitin, that you have to get books?
You have to get books. Today it happened.
Today it happened. Super Soul told us. We were driving away from the house and Super Soul said, turn around and go back and get the books. And that's just what we did. We turned around and we went and got the books. Because if we didn't, we wouldn't have any books to distribute, would we? Right?
I know.
So you have to get books. Get books, put them in your house. Get books, put them in your car. Get books, put them in your bag. If you don't go out with a book, how many books can you distribute? Like today, say we go out and we don't take any books with us. So approximately how many books can you Just approximately how many? Zero. Approximately 0. So These books are a rare treasure. It takes a lot to write one book. What to speak of these volumes and volumes of perfectly edited, illustrated, produced books. You know, has anybody here written a book? Have you written a pamphlet? Have you produced a Word document on your It's not so easy, is it? You run out of ink, you gotta what to speak of printing 80 volumes with fully illustrated volume, and it's going on now. There's people behind the BBT that work full time just to produce these books. It's for a reason. It's because this is our family business. This is what we do. We need to be moving these books. We need every home should have books in it. Did you know that Shastra says that anyone who stocks these books in their house becomes a holy tirtha? Did you know that the demigods look down and they can tell which houses, and they're doing puja to those houses? They can see it. It's like with infrared camera technology. They fly. The government flies around and they look for the houses where people are growing marijuana, and they can see a glow coming from the house, and they know there's too much light coming out of that. Then they check the electrical records and they say they're using way too much electricity, and they go down there. So anyone who has these books in their home, who's stocking them, the demigods look down and go, we know what's going on down there. Get the books. These are really valuable. Invest in these books. It's the most important thing. Multiple languages. Don't miss the languages. Don't be lazy. Get all these languages. We have books in Farsi. We have books in Vietnamese. We have books all over the world. Get them. There's no reason not to have them. Look at this Muslim mullah. I met him out in at a green market on a weekend, farmer's market. And I saw him. I said, Salam alaikum, alaikum salam, madhaba, kifelak, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, alhamdulillah. And he came over and he said, sir, you believe in Allah? And I said, of course I believe in Allah. Allah is within everyone's heart. And he goes, you pray to Allah? I said, of course I do. And he goes, 5 times a day? And I said, 16 times. And he gave me a big hug. And he took this book. You see, that book is in Farsi that he's holding in his hand. That's a Farsi perfection of yoga. He was very happy to have that book. And that book has gone back to Afghanistan. Just imagine right now one of Prabhupada's books floating around Afghanistan.
Who is the other person?
That's me. We should take care of these books. They're deities. And now this is the law number 3. And law number 3 we always say twice whenever we see it. So let's try this. We say,
the more you show, the more you sell. The more you show, the more you sell.
Yeah, let's try it again.
The more you show, the more you sell. The more you show, the more you sell.
That is correct. Now, people are looking for Krishna everywhere. Living entities are traveling throughout the universe, and they're looking for Krishna, but what are they getting? They're getting Coca-Cola. That's true. I saw a big sign, and it said, pour out the pleasure. This is during Christmas. They were selling their new bottle. It's the bigger bottle of Coca-Cola. It said, pour out the pleasure. And I looked and I thought, And then I thought, no, that's not going to work. I know it's bubbly water with some flavor. It doesn't even taste that good, and it's got sugar in it, and that's not going to make me happy. But that's what everyone's selling, and you know what? Coca-Cola's doing huge. Look at the New York Stock Exchange. It's one of the big companies. They're selling sugar water, and they're making a lot of money. Why? Because they're showing it. They show it, and they sell it. And that's what jivas are getting. But when you show Krishna, they'll come in and they'll want Krishna, because that's what they really want. So you really just have to make the books visible. There are millions of ways to make the books visible. Think how to do it. If you just take some books, or one book, and you go stand on a street corner, can I have a book? You must get books. If you just go out on a street corner, you don't do anything. Just go out and stand like this, and just hold it like that when people are walking by. I promise you, you'll sell a book.
Madhavendra
Yes?
Prabhu does that.
Yeah.
He just stands there?
like this. He doesn't even talk. It's like this is perfection of yoga. He does 60 books a day.
Just see. The more you show, the more you sell. Now, if anybody wakes you up in the middle of the night, 1:30 at night, they shake you and they wake you up and they say, "What's this? What was the seminar about today?" You'll say,
The more you show, the more you sell.
but because it's the third law of book distribution, it's one we always say twice. You'll say it again, and you'll say,
The more you show, the more you sell.
And if you walk out of here today and someone who wasn't at the seminar and they come by and they say, "What was the thing about?"
The more you show, the more you sell.
Because it's the third law of book distribution.
Yeah,
And then you go back, you'll say,
The more you show, the more you sell.
and then you'll leave them with a good impression. Yes.
Can I just say something about
Yes.
this picture? That's Driti sitting in the stroller. Next to her is Gita Priya, and behind Driti is Advait. Those three children have been distributing books with their parents since before they were born.
That's right. From within the womb, they distributed books, and when they were little babies, they go door to door. And now they're going out themselves. They know just how to do it, too. And they distribute huge numbers of books, thousands of books, these kids. There's a whole Sunday school with them. If you go in and ask them who wants to go on Sankirtan, me. Both hands go up. They love it. They go out with their parents. And they're a huge force. And they're growing up in this culture of Sankirtan. This is the smart box. You're all familiar with the smart box? This little droid, it sells books even while you're sleeping. It's on the honor system. You set it up, and it's got a little price tag, and people take the books, they put the money in the box. No, people do not steal the books. No, people do not steal the boxes. Yes, people give the right amount and more into the donation box. And yes, this is a great idea. Everyone should do it. Here's Sribas Pandit, our resident Pandit and teacher of our Bhakti Shastri class, standing out with a book table, showing the more you sow, the more you sell. And he's got a sign that says books on yoga, meditation, vegetarianism, and people come over and they buy books. Organized, yes.
Smart box, I have a question actually. So last time I was in a shop, the Indian shop there. Because in the book you have the price tag there, like $1 so and so. There is a sales tax inspector came to that shop.
Yeah.
He says you are selling this book. So the shopkeeper asking because then he said it's a donation and all those things. So he suggested actually we should put a donation, not the price there.
Well, we did originally, but then we sold half as many books.
I see. Because
before we say $3 donation,
yeah.
and then we're getting a little money, and then we put $3 thank you, and then we doubled the score immediately.
Really, I see. But that inspector who came, he says, you know, if you are selling that, then you have to pay sales tax on that.
We'll pay him sales tax then. It's no big deal. He's not going to go to every single smart box place. And if he does, you know, it's an individual thing. He can't track them all down.
Actually, when you buy the books from BBT, you already pay the sales tax on them.
I see.
There it is. You just need a good attorney.
Oh, I see.
Show
Yeah, but
representative.
actually, that would not be right actually, because the consumer need to pay the tax. As per the sales tax rule, it's the consumer who pays the tax, not the retailer.
The person who bought the books, whether it be the temple or the person, they've already paid the sales tax. That's what I'm saying. The sales tax has been paid. You don't charge double.
Yeah, no, that's not that. But according to the sales tax rules, it's like, you know, then the temple who, you know, they should give a resale.
Yeah, we can put our address on it. They can send us a letter and we'll send it.
Yeah, no problem. We'll take care of it.
Yeah, the taxes are already paid.
I saw it that.
We'll give them a little something.
Yeah.
So, organize. You must organize, and that means that you can sell a few books here and there if you just do it randomly. But if you bring all your resources together, that means come together yourselves and brainstorm and talk about ways that you can expand. You can expand unlimitedly. You can do many things. Here's our calendar from ISV, our temple in San Jose, where each year, before the year starts, we put down all of the dates when we're all going to go out together. And we also set the goals, and we also name the monthly Sankirtan festivals. There are different kinds of monthly Sankirtan festivals. Some of them are called the monthly Sankirtan Festival of Loving Exchanges. Others called the monthly Sankirtan Festival of Steady Improvements. When we just had the monthly Sankirtan Festival of 1008 book distributors. So you can innovate and have a fresh challenge every single month. But if you do it ahead of time and you organize and you set goals, then you'll be able to expand in very marvelous ways. This is one of our book rooms that we have at Rakshak Jariwala's house. He's converted his entire garage into a very well-organized place to keep the books. In Toronto, Canada, their book room inside the temple is a sanctum sanctorium. They don't allow shoes in the book room. They treat it as the same as the deity room. It has the same sanctified atmosphere as when you walk into the Pujari room. And in their book room, you leave your shoes outside, you walk in, they keep the place neat and clean. There's always somebody in there tidying up the books and making sure they're in perfect order. Because these books are Shastra deities. Empower leaders. There are people who step forward in your team who will say, I want to do more. Empower them, give them work to do, and expand their own departments. And create all kinds of systems so that you can continue to find economies of scale and expand the scope of your team here. Invest in tools and infrastructure. Get all the things that you need to be successful. Don't hold back. If there's something you need, go out and get the best thing so that you have the right tools for your team. Tables, racks, everything. And organize to recognize and encourage all the devotees. One of the things that we've done successfully at ISV is have a Devotee Appreciation Day. That's what DAD stands for. Where all the devotees come together, we hold a big feast. And just as we did here as a sample, appreciating the other devotees, we spend a day passing the microphone around and everyone gets to appreciate the other devotees. And we start in the morning and it goes till late at night. Nobody wants to go home because it's such a nice thing. So these are ways that you can organize your team, build team spirit, and have a huge impact on the world. Here's a few steps for distributing the book. Lakshman, can you please read them out?
Raider, qualify, trust the hand, give a nutshell presentation, show and tell, compliment, humor, engage.
Okay, so radar. Anybody familiar with the radar? Radar shows presence, direction, distance, and speed. And did you know that you all have a built-in radar? Are you aware of this? Hold up your hand like this. Come on, hold your hand up. Hold your hand up. There's a power that comes out of the palm of your hand. It's a radar. And when you point it at somebody and you say the right mantra, you'll get a radar feeding back. You'll be able to tell how fast they're going, what mood they're in, whether they want to talk to you or not. Do you believe me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to teach you.
Oh.
Come on.
Sure.
Well, you're going to point it at somebody. Don't point it at me, because I can't.
Okay.
Point it at somebody in the room. Point it at somebody that can see you. And I'm going to teach you a mantra that goes along with this, and you'll feel the power shooting from the palm of your hand. It will touch the person. It will bounce off them. It will come back, and you'll be able to see what their state of mind is. Are you ready?
Yes.
You sure you're ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Hold your hand up.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say the mantra and you repeat. Are you ready?
Yes.
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 Hi. Listen, it's still bouncing around the room. Can you hear it? Some boys are laughing, everyone's smiling, you're feeling it. They're bouncing, it's still bouncing, it's going everywhere. And then you look into the faces and look at everyone's face right now. Everyone's smiling because they were hit with the radar, and we know the consciousness of everyone in the room. If you pointed, if there's someone in this room got hit with the radar and they were like this, leave me alone, I don't want to talk to you, we will know that what state of mind they're in. Because it's an act of consciousness. Book distribution is an act of consciousness. We're actually looking how to make a conscious connection with another soul. That's what we're doing. And when you consciously approach somebody and you say hi, and you hold up your hand, they'll give you immediate feedback of where they're at. They might go like this. In Japan, they do this all the time. I say hi, and they go,
Oh.
that means not open for business. Can't do biz. Can't talk to you today. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And other people, you go hi, and they go, hi, how are you? Good to see you. How are you? You don't even know them, but they're willing to talk to you, right? And then many other kinds of intermediate stages that people will be in. So this is radar. You want to make some kind of contact with people consciously, and it happens through the eyes and through your hand. There's hand power. Now, qualify means, besides just walking up to somebody and handing them a book, get books. Get books, distribute books you don't have.
Sorry, good book.
Thank you very much.
Almost.
Oh, Taurus ACL getting a book. Okay, so this is, qualification means that you don't just walk up to somebody and say, here,
Easily.
because they don't know why you're saying here. But if you ask a simple question, are you from Boston? You're not from Boston? Here. You qualify, I'll show you. Are you from Boston?
Yes.
Great, you qualify, have a look. Either way, yes or no, he's still qualified. So if you ask a question first, and then you say, okay, I'll show you then they have a feeling that they're qualified. Next is to trust the hand. Don't hold the book back and say, here, I'll tell you all about it. Here's a classic hand. See her hand move? She's grabbing the book from Shailesh. And so that's what the hand does. It comes out and it grabs things. So if you just hold the book out, put it in people's hand. You see how that works? Watch. See how the hand comes out? Practically automatic. So the feet walk, the eyes see, the ears hear, they do it automatically. And the hand, if you put it out to the hand, most people grab like that, like this. Okay? So trust the hand, put the book in their hand, and as you're doing, give a nutshell presentation. Now there are many different presentations that you can give for people. Sankirtan Yogya Prabhu over in Washington, D.C., he tells people when he hands over the book, he said, this is about a guy who hated his job and he wanted to quit. And he was having family problems and he was in complete anxiety. And then after he heard this book, what's in this book, he was happy about life, he wanted to do his job, and he did a great, and he was expert at it again. What happened here? Did he change his clothes? Did he change his job? No. He changed his heart. And that's what happens when you read this book. So all you have to do is read this book and go out and live life. That's a nutshell presentation. Simple. And if you know it ahead of time what you're going to say, then you won't be in anxiety. So here's a really simple nutshell presentation that you can give. As I'm handing the book over, hi, from Boston?
No.
I'm from California. Where are you from?
Houston.
Take a look. Books on yoga and meditation shows you how to get free from stress. I'm saying the nutshell presentation as I'm handing it over. Books on yoga and meditation shows you how to get free from stress. Basically, I'm telling him what's in it for him when I'm handing the book over, because everyone's tuned into a radio station called WIIFM. What's in it for me? They want to know. So books on yoga and meditation shows you how to get free from stress. Okay, so everyone say, books on yoga and meditation shows you how to get free from stress. I'll say, you say. Books on yoga and meditation.
Books on yoga and meditation.
That show you how to get free from stress. Books on yoga and meditation.
Books on yoga and meditation.
Show you how to get free from stress.
Show you how to get free from stress.
Books on yoga and meditation.
Books on yoga and meditation.
Show you how to get free from stress.
Show you how to get free from stress.
Books on yoga and meditation.
Books on yoga and meditation.
Show you how to get free from stress.
Show you how to get free from stress.
Books on yoga and
He's up.
meditation.
You're up. Just say it.
Oh, books on yoga and meditation that show you how to get free from stress.
Books on yoga and meditation that show you how to get free from stress.
Books on yoga and meditation that show you how to get out of stress.
Books on yoga and meditation that shows you how to get out of stress.
Books on yoga and meditation shows you how to get free from stress.
Books on yoga and meditation that shows you how to get free from stress. Get out.
And,
Books on yoga and meditation that shows you how to get free from stress.
and the kitty?
Say, books on yoga and meditation. That shows you. Say, that shows you how to get free from stress.
All right, so there you go. Books on yoga meditation, get free from stress. And did you know that the person who is asking the questions in a conversation is controlling and leading the conversation? Are you aware of this? You're aware of this? That whoever's asking the questions, not who's telling, who's asking the questions, because a question mark is a hook. It's the most important of all the punctuation marks in the English language. It is the most powerful. If you write a 10-page email to somebody telling them something, and then somewhere within that email there's embedded a question mark at the end of one of the sentences, they have to write you back.
Yes.
If you write a 10-page email to somebody and you don't put a question mark, they can write you back or not write you back. It's up to them. But if you put a question mark, they have to write you back. Did you know that? And if they don't, they're remiss, and you'll see them at a party two years later say, "Why didn't you write me back? I put a question mark." That's how powerful that little sign is. So when you're talking to people, remember that, because you'll control the conversation by asking a question. And right after I tell them books on yoga and meditation shows you how you got free from stress, and they still might want to get away, they still might want to give an excuse, and to hold them right in place, I say, "You've heard of stress before, right? Because I'm asking the question, I'm controlling the conversation, right? You've heard of stress before, right?
Yes.
You don't look stressed. You look so peaceful. What's your secret?" So another question is another very powerful question that you can ask people, because what it does, it elevates them to a level of authority. You're asking, what's your secret? You know something about this book already and what we're talking about here. You have superior knowledge. You're a soul. You're bringing them up to that level by asking, what's your secret? And when they ask the question, "You've heard of stress before, right?" Some people will say yes, some people say no. It doesn't matter because of my next response. If I say, "You've heard of stress before, right?" and you go, "No, I'm perfectly happy, right?" And then I just go right ahead. "I know, you don't look stressed. What's your secret?" So either way, it works. And then I say, "Your eyes look spiritual." Now that's a fact, because the eyes are the window to the soul. And if you look at somebody's eyes right now, try it. Look at somebody's eyes. You'll notice that there's a living being, a conscious living being, looking back at you. And that is the most amazing thing in the universe, that there's a conscious living soul looking back at you. And all day long, if you're going to people and say, "Your eyes look spiritual," you're telling the truth, and you're keeping yourself completely aligned with your purpose while you're there. So that's a compliment. Now all you have to do is show and tell, because everything that you need to sell the Bhagavad Gita is in or on the Gita itself. Starting with the back cover. Fast forward. Here, I'll show you really quick. Now say the word show.
Show.
Are we giving or are we showing?
Giving.
So we're showing, right?
Right.
Say show, show, show.
Show.
Show, show, show.
Show.
What are we doing?
Showing.
We're just showing. And showing's innocuous. It doesn't mean anything. It just means I'm showing you something, right? So I'll show you really quick. And why do we say really quick? Because chronic disease of modern man is no time. Prabhupada wrote an article about it. He used to go out personally and distribute his own books, his Back to Godhead magazine, personally. He walked around the streets and he would stop people, and he wrote an article about it. He said, "Chronic disease of modern man, no time." "Excuse me, sir, take a look at this. No time. No time. No time at all." So you say, "Here, I'll show you really quick." Everything we're doing really quick. In fact, when someone says, I'm really in a hurry, I say, "Are you really in a big hurry?" And they go, "Yeah." And I said, "You want me to show you in 5 seconds?" And if they say yes, then they give you permission. If they say no, then you know that it's just an excuse. They got to go, right? Okay, I'll show you really quick. Now on the back we have Thoreau, Emerson, Gandhi. Then you can also put in there Einstein, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and you can put in the Beatles. All these people, just name drop. Show them the back and name about 5 or 6 people who have read Bhagavad Gita. That's all you have to do. It builds credibility. Next are the endorsements. On the inside cover, the first page, you'll find USC, University of Southern California, Georgetown University. All you have to do is mention that out of all the Bhagavad Gitas, this one has become very popular with all the universities. Got it?
Yeah.
Next, show the pictures. One of the best pictures you can show is the Changing Bodies exhibit. You'll find it right here in the Bhagavad Gita, like this. And you say, we start here. This pointer doesn't work on here, does it? No. You can't see it, it disappears. Okay. We start here. We end up here, we're just passing through. So repeat after me. We all start here.
We all start here.
We end up here.
We end up here.
We're just passing through.
We're just passing through.
Where are you in all this, Manish?
Right here.
He's right here. Look, I'm heading down this way. So engage them. You can ask them after you say, look, we start here, we end up here, we're just passing, and then say, where are you in this? And they'll look at you, I'm not sure, maybe there, you know, but it makes them think. And then you can show them this picture. Look at this as Vidya Vinaya Sampane. Look, a self-realized person treats everyone with respect because he or she sees that God's in everyone's heart.
Yes.
You've heard of karma before, right? Have you all heard of karma?
Yes.
Really? Okay, what does it mean to you? Now you watch what happens when he tells me the answer. You watch me really carefully because I want you to do the same thing in a second. What does karma mean to you?
Whatever activities that we do, we karma.
Whoa! That's a really good way to put it. Now I'm going to ask somebody else. What does karma mean to you?
Action.
Whoa! That's a really good way to put it. Okay, now I want you all to ask me what karma means to me, and I'm going to answer you, and then all of you, you wind up and you go, whoa! That's a really good way to put it. So somebody ask me.
What does karma mean to you?
I don't know, stuff goes up and down and stuff like that. That's a really good way to put it. Okay, try the whole thing, the whole mantra. Wow, that's a really good way to put it. Somebody else ask me what karma is.
What does karma mean to you?
I don't know, like people come up and down and go all around. Okay, yeah, so when you do this, you'll be really excited in this part of the presentation because you're ready to spring. And you know it's going to create all this energy. And the reaction that they give, as soon as you say, whoa, that's a really good way to put it, they become really happy and appreciate that you appreciate them, right? And then you can turn to this picture in the book.
But what if they say something wrong? Still we should say...
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. And then you can turn to this picture. I don't see it in this book, but it's in the, you have the yellow Gitas that you're distributing?
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be in here. The man with a cow's head, cow with a man's head. Say, yeah, look, here it is graphically. Here's a man with a cow's head and a cow with a man's head. Look, see, violence breeds violence. And then I say, generosity breeds generosity. So, the little philosophy you've given them, you show them some of the pictures, right? Just real quick and easy. You don't have to spend all day. Don't give them a Bhagavatam class. Just tell them a little something about each picture and try to involve them a little bit. That's show and tell. It's really simple, really fast, really quick, right? Now here comes a little humor. Are you ready for some humor? Does anybody in this room work? Any of you work?
Yeah.
Yeah? Who works? What do you do?
I do software programming.
You do software programming? What kind of software?
Oracle.
Oracle? This guy used to do software programming. Yeah. Anybody else here work?
Okay.
Yeah? What do you do?
I sell business process outsourcing.
You sell what? Sell what?
Business process outsourcing.
Business process outsourcing.
CPU.
Look at this guy used to sell business. So you show people, you turn to that picture and you just real serious, you turn to them and you say, by the way, what do you do professionally? And the lady will say, well, I'm a school teacher. What level do you teach? 3rd grade? And you say, really? This guy used to teach 3rd grade. And then what happens is 50% of the people will just break out laughing and the other 50% will say, really? And then you say, no, not really. Then the next thing is, you hand them, take the book back, hand the book back to them, because you were showing it, and then you say, we don't sell this like in a bookstore, but if we did, how much do you think it would be?
Oh.
How much do you think it would be? If we were selling it in a bookstore?
$30.
That's pretty close. How much do y'all think it would be?
$25.
That's pretty close. How much do you think it would be?
$20.
That's pretty close. So whatever they say, it's pretty close?
Pretty close.
But we don't sell it, so if you give a donation, you can take it with you. They cost us about $8 to print, so anything you give over that is a donation. So the donation part is because when they give something in return, they get the power to read the book. Because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, don't preach to people who aren't austere or aren't devoted. And when they give a donation, it makes them austere and it makes them devoted. They have to give a little something to see. That's why we ask for the donation. Now if they don't have any money, you can still give them the book because they're paying attention. They're taking their valuable time, and that's austere, and that's also devoted. To take a little time to listen. If they're really sincere, if they really want to read the book and they only have a little money, or they don't have any money, but they really want it, can you give them the book? Definitely, and it'll all come out in the wash. Somebody else will give you a 50, another person will, you know, subsidize the book. So this is a process for asking for donation. Now, the only reason we ask is because when you give something in return for spiritual knowledge, you get special benefit. People understand that, and I tell each person that. And I tell them that we're doing this to spread love for God. We're doing it to help people all over the world who are suffering from ignorance. And then at the end we ask, do you believe in the power of prayer? Do you all believe in the power of prayer? Yes. Then let me teach you this mantra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
You're all naturals. So take the time to teach people the mantra. When you give mercy, you get mercy. And what will happen is amazing things. When you show people the mantra and you get them to chant it on the street or wherever you happen to be, just to repeat it, you'll experience that a soul is chanting Krishna's name for the first time, and you'll feel something in your heart. And the next day when you're chanting japa, you'll remember that you gave mercy to somebody, and you'll get special mercy in chanting. Give mercy, you
get mercy.
You give mercy, you
get mercy.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're showing the Maha Mantra, and you say, you believe in the power of prayer? Yes, I do. I'll teach you a prayer from Sanskrit. It's a little hard to pronounce, so I'm going to say it once and you can repeat after me. Are you ready? And then they look and they go, wait a minute. What am I saying here? What is this? And then you can tell them about the mantra. And then sometimes they say, like I've had couples, they're together, and the man's just ready to chant, and the woman goes, wait a minute, don't do it. Dilip, don't do it. You know, and they stop them, and they go, what's that? I don't know what's going to happen. Because it's a mystery, what's in this mantra. It's so powerful, and they're right. If they chant this mantra, their whole life, everything's going to change. And you'll remember that. When you see that, and you'll think yourself, what am I chanting here? You'll become very conscious of what you're doing. So when you spread Krishna consciousness like this, you yourself will get superior strength and knowledge in Krishna consciousness. Distribute mass quantities of prasadam. Here's the lunch bags getting ready to go out with our team, who go out and they each get a packaged lunch to take out with them when they're going around, so they can stop and take prasadam in the afternoon. And we also take out prasadam to give to everybody that we meet. And if you can't cook prasadam, you can always get lollipops. Prabhupada gave us permission to offer those to the deities and to pass them out as prasadam. It's sugar, it's flavor, it's lollipops, it's fun for the whole family. So get lollipops and pass them out to everybody. Is that all right? Dum-dum pops, you have them? And get their contact information, because this is our first contact and we want to follow up with people. And take a minute to thank people for their valuable time. After you sell the book, they say the mantra, take a book, don't take a book, doesn't matter. Our prime directive is to
leave
everyone with a good impression. Our prime directive is to leave everyone with a good impression. Our prime directive is to leave everyone with a good impression. Our prime directive is to leave everyone with a good impression. If someone wakes you up at 1:30 in the morning, they shake you out of bed and they say, what was your prime directive? You say, leave everyone with a good impression. You go to Mayapur this year and people walk up to you and say, how's the book distribution going? What's your prime directive? You'll say, leave everyone with a good impression. You go back to the temple and the temple president comes up to you and he said, I heard you had a meeting at your house and what did you learn? You'll say, leave everyone with a good impression. That's right, that's exactly what you'll say. And then here's a few tips. Fear of rejection, shyness, pressure to perform, laziness, obstinate mind. All these things can be overcome. And when you do, you'll become a stronger person. There's seminars like this that you can attend. Learn from others. Watch what other distributors are doing. And learn from your mistakes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. I've made thousands and thousands of mistakes, and every time I have, I've made a little bit of an improvement, and that's how you get better, to practice. Keep a journal. Write down what other people are saying and how to improve your presentation. Keep good association and practice. And here's a few comebacks. They say, I already know all about this. Does anybody ever say that?
Yeah.
That's great. I can tell by looking at you. Everyone's got some designation, like I'm a Muslim. Like here, I'll hand you the book and you'll say I'm a Muslim. Sorry, I'm a Muslim, I can't read it.
Sorry, I'm a Muslim, I don't read it.
Oh, I'm here. Then let me give you this one. Take the book back and give him another. Give me the Muslim book. Muslim book. There you go. Here's the Muslim book. Pass the Muslim book up here. Okay? Here. That one's for you. Allah is within everyone's heart. Purpose of life to develop love for Allah. So we just take a donation, we're spreading love for Allah. Give what you can. Okay, so they say, I'm a Buddhist.
Take this.
I'm a Buddhist.
Oh,
I'll continue.
all right, here. Take the Buddha book. You want a Buddha book? Here's a Buddha book. Whatever you want, there you go. We got it for you. It's all in here. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. We got no problem with that. So whatever they say. Huh?
I'm an atheist.
I'm an atheist. Oh, let me give you the atheist. No problem. Are you selling this? Are we selling this?
No.
We refuse to sell it. It's too valuable. We just take a donation. How much should I donate? We try to keep it under $100, but in your case, we're thinking about making an exception. Pick the ripe fruits. We're looking for the people who are ripe. That means they're easy to pluck, colorful, juicy, fragrant, right? Here's a profile of a ripe fruit. See the guy on the left?
Yeah.
He was a very nice person. He was very interested. He bought a Bhagavad Gita from that devotee. And here's an unripe fruit. That guy was over telling that guy that he's going to hell, that Jesus is the only way. And look at that poor brahmachari standing. Look at this. Ripe, unripe. You see? Look. Ripe, unripe. Unripe, ripe. Ripe, unripe. So what you're looking for, you use your radar, look for the ripe fruits. Those are the ones that you pick off the tree, right? The natives are getting restless.
What do you do with the unripe?
Reflections. Very good question. With the unripe, when you go to pick fruits, what do you do with the unripe fruits on the tree?
Leave it as
Grab them, right? You grab those and you pull the branch, don't you?
No.
You pull the branch off the tree, right?
No.
You pull the branch off the tree and down the street. Put it in your car. Pull the branch. Right? Right?
No.
Right?
No.
Right?
No.
No, you leave it on the tree. So if you find an unripe fruit, what do? You leave them with a good impression, because that's our prime directive. All you do is say, thank you very much, no problem. You don't have to pick unripe fruits. That's not your duty. In fact, Bhagavatam says, Ishvare taradineshu balisheshu jusatsucha. The preacher goes out and finds the right fruits. That's what that verse says. And when you find the right fruit, pick it. Give it as much mercy as possible. Unripe fruits, not your business. It's not your duty. So don't worry. It's not hard. You just have to find the right fruits. Yes?
But unripe fruits are they are the real people who really need it, right? You feel the urge to give them more because they really...
You're not the friend. Krishna's the friend. Suridam Sarvabhutanam. Krishna's in charge of all these things. You're going out as his representative, so you don't have to be a big hero and try to save all the unripe fruits. And by our campaign, those unripe fruits naturally will become ripe. And by Krishna's campaign, he's cooking everybody in this universe. They'll become ripe. Just let them stay on the vine for a little while. Yeah. And when you leave people with a good impression, actually, who are unripe, they'll come back later and be really appreciative. I met a couple on the Waikiki Strip, and they were a honeymoon couple, and I showed them a book, and it was the first canto of Bhagavatam. I was dressed in dhoti and everything, and then they said, we're Christians, we don't believe in this, and we don't want to give a donation, we give to our own church. I said, I want to thank you for taking your valuable time. I said, it's people like you of faith that are keeping the world afloat, and it's an honor to meet you, I said, and then we walked away. And a half hour later, I was talking to somebody else, and they came back. Wow. And they said, we changed our mind, we'd like to give a donation.
Oh.
They were unripe fruits. I left them with a good impression. And they came back later. They became ripe really fast. So if you leave people with a good impression, they will ripen. You don't have to make them take it. You don't have to preach to people to make them take something. You just have to find the right fruits and give them an opportunity to do the right thing, and they will. Any other reflections or questions? Okay. Yes.
Roji, now that I travel in train every morning and evening, so I see more people getting attached to technology like Blackberries or iPads. Not many are really eager to hold the books. Is there something that we are also thinking in those regards to pass them electronically?
Yes. We're developing the all kinds of e-books and things like that, and those are available now. Just as far as how to distribute them directly, those things you can innovate. Any other thing? A reflection or a question? Today? We have a little time, right? It's 4 o'clock, and the program over there starts at 5:30.
It starts at 5, but you guys can come only at.
I guess.
Well, yeah.
The plan was to be back here by 5. The plan was to go out for books at 3:30, but not too far off.
Okay.
So.
One thing is, it's a Saturday. It's 4 o'clock. It's a holiday weekend. I'm not sure how many people are home at this time, but I think it would be a good practice for us to go out for at least a half hour and knock on some doors and just practice with what we've just learned now. Would that be all right?
Wonderful. Haribol.
Okay, let's do that.
So one thing I would like to recommend is from my previous experience is that we don't want to go in like groups. We don't want to go all together to one door. They think we're gonna mob them. So it's better if we go like maybe groups of 2 or maximum 3. Like we can accompany Prabhuji. Like a couple of people can accompany Prabhuji, and then after like 4 or 5, 2 or 3 doors, somebody else could go with him, and somebody could go with me and Manish.
Yeah.
So that was.
Yeah. Okay, who would like to go out on the first half hour? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12. We can divide up into
6.
4, 3. 3 is okay. For now. You're a small guy, you don't look scary.
Okay, so do you have books? Let's see if we're breaking.
Yes, I have books.
If we're breaking any laws of book distribution.
Yeah, books.
We got books?
Yes.
Yes.
We didn't break that law. Now we're going to, the more we show, we're organizing a little bit right now, right? Just what we just did now is a little organization. There can be a lot more because there's the ABS principle, always better service. And do we have prasadam to give out?
Unfortunately, in my garage, I took the books and I shot in boxes.
Okay. Do you have cards?
Yes.
Invitation cards? And do you have the Maha Mantra card on the cards?
Yes.
Okay.
The cards are in the package.
You have bags that we can take out the books in?
They were in the box too, and I forgot. So
okay, so room for improvement, right?
Yes, yes.
So, then you'd innovate and you'd say, okay, next time I should have an inventory sheet that names everything and make sure it's on it when I pack it in the car. And also, over here you should have all the things too. Whoever's here, besides, everyone should have their own tools and their own books and all that kind of thing, so that you're ready to go from every side. So you want to put together a few packages for us?
Put together 4 sets of bags for 4 teams.
You need help? How many people do you need to help you? 2 or 3 people can help you. Okay. So we could take a few minutes break and then we'll wander out and we'll just leave everyone a good impression. Yeah. And we'll be instruments and just leave it up to Krishna and see what happens. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sankirtan Yagya Ki
Jai.
Go Premanande.
Hari Hari.